The sound of metal slicing through plastic shouldn't be loud. It's a small sound, insignificant really, like the snap of a dry twig or the click of a walk. But in the vaulted silence of our penthouse living room, the sound of Damon's gold-plated scissors cutting through my American Express card sounded like a gunshot. Snip. The first half of the card fluttered to the marble floor. It landed face down, the holographic chip gleaming under the chandelier light. Snip. The second half followed. My husband, Damon King, stood over me, his shadow stretching long across the Persian rug. He was a handsome man. God, he was handsome. 6'3", skin the color of obsidian, with a beard he spent more time grooming than he spent talking to me these days. He was wearing the Tom Ford suit I had bought him for his birthday last month. The watch on his wrist was a Rolex Submariner, a congratulations gift I gave him when he landed his first big contract. He looked like success. He looked like power. But right now, looking down at me with those cold, judgment-filled eyes, he just looked like a bully. "There," Damon said, tossing the scissors onto the glass coffee table with a clatter. "Problem solved." I sat frozen on the velvet sofa, my hands folded in my lap. I wasn't trembling. Not yet. I was too stunned to tremble. "Damon, what did you just do?" "I did what I should have done a year ago, Jasmine," he said, his voice deep and devoid of affection. He walked over to the wet bar and poured himself a glass of whiskey. My whiskey. The 25-year-old Macallan I kept for special occasions. He drank it like it was water. "I am cutting the fat. I am stopping the bleeding." "The bleeding?" I repeated, my voice barely a whisper. "I went to the grocery store, Damon. I bought food for our house." "You spent $400 at Whole Foods." "Jasmine, $400. Do you think money grows on trees? Do you think I just walk outside and pick $100 bills off the leaves?" "It was organic produce, Damon. You said you wanted to eat cleaner. You said the doctor told you to watch your cholesterol. I bought salmon. I bought fresh vegetables." "You bought nonsense," he roared, pacing the room now. "And last week, a $200 charge at Sephora? The week before that, $100 for, what was it? A candle? A damn candle, Jasmine." "It was for the bathroom. You like the way the house smells." "I don't care how the house smells if we go broke." He stopped in front of me, leaning down so his face was inches from mine. I could smell the alcohol on his breath. "I don't understand the pressure I am under. I am out there every day, grinding, hustling, running my company, dealing with incompetent employees, dealing with clients. And I come home to what? A wife who spends money like she's a Kardashian." I looked at him. Really looked at him. "My company," he said. "I am grinding," he said. The irony was so thick I could almost taste it. It tasted bitter, like bile. "Damon," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "we are not going broke. We live in a penthouse. You drive a G-Wagon. We're fine." "We are fine because I work," he shouted, jabbing a finger into his own chest. "I am the provider here. Me, not you. You sit here all day in this fancy apartment, watching TV, going to yoga, planning dinners. You contribute nothing to the bottom line, Jasmine. Nothing." The word hung in the air. Nothing. I looked at the wedding ring on my finger, a modest diamond. He had bought it 5 years ago when he was just a junior logistics manager with a mountain of student debt and a dream. I had loved that ring because it was all he could afford. Now he could afford much more. Or at least he thought he could. "So this is the new reality?" Damon said, straightening his tie. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a thin wad of cash. He threw it at me. The bills fluttered down, landing on my lap, on the sofa, and next to the cut-up credit card. $500, he said. I stared at the money. "Excuse me?" "That is your allowance, $500 a week, for groceries, for gas, for your little candles and creams. If you want more, you submit a request to me in writing. If I approve it, you get it. If I don't, you figure it out." "An allowance?" I stood up slowly. My legs felt heavy. "Damon, I am your wife. I am 28 years old. You're treating me like a child." "Then stop acting like one," he snapped. "If you don't like the allowance, Jasmine, here's a novel idea. Get a job." He laughed, a cruel, mocking sound. "But what would you do? You have a degree in art history. You haven't worked a real day in your life since we got married. You're lucky I keep you around." He checked his watch. "I'm going to the office. I have a dinner meeting with the investors tonight. Don't wait up. And Jasmine," he paused at the door, looking back at me surrounded by the scattered cash. "Pick that up. It looks trashy." The door slammed shut. The heavy thud vibrated through the floorboards, traveling up my legs and settling in my chest. I stood there for a long time. I looked at the cut-up card. I looked at the $500. And then, for the first time in a long time, I started to laugh. It started as a small chuckle, then grew into a full-bellied laugh that echoed off the high ceilings. Tears streamed down my face, but they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of sheer, unadulterated absurdity. "I'm the provider," he said. "You contribute nothing," he said. Oh, Damon, my sweet, arrogant, foolish Damon, you have no idea.
To understand why Damon's little tantrum was so hilarious and so dangerous, you have to understand who I really am. To the world, and to my husband, I am Jasmine King, a quiet, supportive housewife who volunteers at the animal shelter and takes Pilates classes. A woman who comes from a comfortable, middle-class family in Virginia. But my name isn't Jasmine King. My birth name is Jasmine Sterling, daughter of Marcus Sterling, the founder of Sterling Global Logistics, the man who revolutionized shipping in the Southeast. When my father died 7 years ago, he left behind an empire. But my father was a wise man. He knew that wealth attracts sharks. He knew that if people knew I was the sole heiress to a $50 million fortune, I would never find true love. I would only find gold diggers. So in his will, he created the Sterling Family Trust. The rules were simple. I would have access to a modest monthly stipend to live on. The bulk of the fortune would be managed by his lawyer, Mr. Henderson, until I turned 30, or until I chose to activate my full control. My identity as the heiress was to be kept strictly confidential. When I met Damon 5 years ago, I was testing him. I introduced myself as a library assistant. He was struggling, working 2 jobs, driving a beat-up Honda Civic. But he had ambition, he had fire, and he seemed to love me for me, not what he could get from me. He didn't care that I drove a Toyota. He didn't care that I clipped coupons. We fell in love, we got married, and then I decided to help him, secretly. Damon wanted to start his own logistics company. He pitched to investors for months and got rejected every time. He was about to give up, so I called Mr. Henderson. "Mr. Henderson, I want the trust to invest in Damon's company, but he cannot know it's me." Mr. Henderson set it up. He created a shell company called Titan Ventures. Titan Ventures gave Damon a $2 million seed loan, interest-free for the first 5 years. Damon came home that day crying tears of joy. "I got it, baby! An angel investor! They believe in me!" I hugged him, smiling into his shoulder. "I'm so proud of you, Damon." That was the beginning. The penthouse we lived in, it wasn't rented. The trust bought it under an LLC. Damon paid rent every month, thinking it went to a landlord. In reality, that money just circled back into my account. The G-Wagon he drove, leased by the trust as a company vehicle perk from Titan Ventures. I had built his entire life. I had constructed the stage he was dancing on, and now he was telling the stage manager to get off the stage. I stopped laughing and wiped my eyes. I knelt down and picked up the pieces of the credit card. Then I gathered the cash, $500. I walked over to the window and looked out at the Atlanta skyline. Damon was right about one thing. It was time to stop the bleeding. I pulled out my phone. Not the phone Damon paid for, the burner phone I kept in my safe for calls with Mr. Henderson. I dialed the number. "Henderson Law, this is Sarah." "Sarah, it's Jasmine. Is Mr. Henderson in?" "Miss Sterling!" "Hold on one moment, I'll put him right through." A moment later, the gravelly voice of Arthur Henderson filled my ear. "Jasmine, is everything all right? We usually only speak on the 1st of the month." "Everything is clear, Arthur," I said, my voice hard. "I need to invoke Clause 4. There was a long silence on the other end. Clause 4? The bad faith clause? Jasmine, are you sure? That clause allows the trust to recall all loans and assets immediately if the beneficiary feels the investment is being misused. It's the nuclear option. It would bankrupt Damon's company within 24 hours. I know what it does, Arthur. Did something happen? Is the business failing? The business is fine, but the CEO has become a liability. He cut off my access to the joint account today, Arthur. He told me to get a job. He told Jasmine Sterling to get a job? Arthur sounded like he was choking. Yes, he put me on a $500 allowance. So, I think it's only fair that we adjust his allowance too. I see. Arthur's voice shifted from concerned lawyer to shark. What do you want to do? Freeze it all, Arthur. The operating accounts for his company, the lease on the G-Wagon, the rent payments for the penthouse, and the credit cards, especially the corporate card. He's at a dinner meeting tonight. I want that card to decline before the appetizer arrives. Consider it done. I'll have the bank issue the freeze orders within an hour. And, Jasmine, yes? Do you want me to send the eviction notice for the penthouse, too? I looked around the beautiful living room, the room where I had spent so many nights waiting for him to come home, only for him to walk in smelling of someone else's perfume. I hadn't mentioned that part to him yet, but I knew. I always knew. Not yet, I said. Let him come home one last time. I want to see his face when he realizes the landlord isn't a stranger. Very well. The freeze goes into effect at 5 p.m. Good luck, Miss Sterling. I hung up. I looked at the clock. It was 2 p.m. I had 3 hours to prepare. I didn't cook dinner. Damon told me to get a job. So I went to my closet. I pushed aside the modest clothes I wore to play the role of the dutiful wife. I reached into the back where I kept the clothes I bought with my own money, the money he didn't know about. I pulled out a white Alexander McQueen power suit. I pulled out my Louboutins, the ones with the 5-inch heels. I pulled out my diamond studs, the ones worth more than his car. I stripped off my yoga pants and t-shirt. I showered, scrubbing away the feeling of being Damon's wife. I blow-dried my hair straight. I applied red lipstick, a shade called Boss. When I looked in the mirror, Jasmine King was gone. Jasmine Sterling was staring back, and she looked hungry.
That meant Damon was there. I let it ring. Then a text message came through from this same number. Jasmine, pick up. This isn't funny. The company accounts are locked. Payroll is tomorrow. If I don't pay the drivers, the trucks stop moving. Unfreeze the accounts now. I took a sip of champagne. Payroll is tomorrow, I whispered to myself. Maybe you should have thought about that before you spent payroll on Vanessa's lobster. I typed a reply. Submit a request in writing. If I approve it, maybe you'll get it. The Angel Investor. I turned off my phone. The next morning, I woke up in the penthouse feeling rested. The bed felt bigger without 200 pounds of ego taking up the other side. Henry, the doorman, had sent me a text at 2 a.m. Mr. Damon tried to get in. He was very emotional. I told him the police would be called. He slept in his car. I drank my coffee, Colombian roast, not the cheap stuff Damon tried to force us to drink last week, and dressed for battle. Today wasn't about dinner. Today was about business. At 10 a.m., I arrived at the Titan Ventures headquarters. It was a sleek building in a business park. I remembered the day we cut the ribbon. Damon stood in front of the cameras, beaming, talking about self-made success. I stood in the back, holding his jacket. Today, I parked my Bentley right in his reserved spot. The security guard, old Mr. Lewis, looked confused. He started to walk over, probably to tell me to move, but then he saw me step out. The white McQueen suit, the heels, the sunglasses. Mrs. King? He asked, squinting. Good morning, Mr. Lewis, I said, walking past him. Is the CEO in?
Yes, ma'am. He's in a mood today, yelling at everyone. I bet he is. I walked into the lobby. The receptionist, a sweet girl named Sarah, looked terrified. Mrs. King, you can't go in there. He's in an emergency board meeting. Perfect, I said. I love meetings. I walked straight to the double glass doors of the conference room. I could hear Damon's voice booming from inside. A technical glitch with the bank. I told you. The funds will be released by noon. We just need to... I pushed the doors open. Bang. The room went silent. Damon was standing at the head of the table, looking disheveled. He was wearing the same suit from last night, rumpled and stained with what looked like butter. His eyes were bloodshot. Around the table sat the 4 other board members, minor investors Damon had brought on to expand. They looked nervous. Jasmine? Damon stared at me. What the hell are you doing here? Get out! This is a closed meeting. Is it? I walked into the room, removing my sunglasses. I thought shareholders were always welcome. You aren't a shareholder. Damon laughed, a cracking, desperate sound. You're my wife. Go home and wait for me. We have things to discuss. I ignored him. I looked at the man sitting to his right, Mr. Sterling, no relation, just a coincidence, the CFO. Mr. Sterling, what seems to be the problem? Mrs. King, the primary operating account has been frozen. The bank says the line of credit was recalled by the lender. We can't run payroll. We can't buy fuel. If we don't fix this by 5 p.m., Titan Ventures is insolvent. I see, I said calmly. I pulled out a chair, the one at the opposite end of the table from Damon, and sat down. Jasmine! Damon slammed his hand on the table. Get out! You don't understand business. Damon, I said, my voice cool and authoritative. Sit down. Something in my tone, a tone he had never heard from his submissive wife, made him pause. The other men looked at me, then at him. He sat down slowly. Gentlemen, I addressed the room, the bank didn't make a mistake. The line of credit wasn't recalled due to a glitch. It was recalled because the primary investor lost confidence in the CEO. What investor? Damon sneered. We don't have a primary investor. I built this. I reached into my briefcase, a Hermes Birkin, naturally, and pulled out a thick leather folder. I slid it down the long table. It stopped right in front of Damon. Open it. Damon opened the folder. His eyes scanned the first page, then the second. His face went pale, then white, then a sickly shade of gray. This says... Read it out loud, Damon, I commanded. He swallowed hard. The Sterling Family Trust, acting as the sole proprietor of Titan Ventures LLC. He looked up at me. Sterling? Your dad? My dad is dead, Damon. I am the Sterling Family Trust. I am the angel investor. The room gasped. The CFO dropped his pen. You gave me the money? I loaned you the money, I corrected. $2 million, interest-free, because I believed in you, because I loved you. And how did you repay me? I stood up and walked around the table, circling him like a shark. You used the company card to buy dinners for your mistress. You used the company lease to drive a G-Wagon to her apartment. And yesterday you looked me in the face and told me I contribute nothing? I stopped right behind his chair. I leaned down and whispered in his ear. Does $2 million look like nothing to you, Damon? He spun his chair around to face me. Jasmine, baby, wait. I didn't know. If you knew I was rich, you would have treated me better? I asked, loud enough for the room to hear. Is that it? You only respect people who sign the checks? No, I mean, look, we can fix this. Unfreeze the accounts, please, for the employees. They have families. I know they do. That's why I'm here. I turned to the board. Gentlemen, I am willing to reinstate the line of credit immediately. Payroll will be met. The trucks will move. The CFO sighed with relief. Thank God. Thank you, Mrs. King. However,
I raised a finger. "There is one condition." "Anything," Damon said quickly. "Anything you want, Jasmine. I'll increase your allowance. My condition," I cut him off, "is a change in leadership." Damon froze. "What?" "Clause 12 of the investment agreement." I recited from memory. "If the CEO engages in misconduct or financial misappropriation, the investor has the right to remove him without severance." I looked at Damon. "You're fired, Damon." "You can't fire me," he screamed, jumping up. "It's my company. My name is on the door." "Actually," I pointed to the logo on the wall, "it says Titan Ventures, and Titan is owned by Sterling. You are just an employee who was caught embezzling funds for personal entertainment." I tossed a packet of photos onto the table. The photos I took from his Instagram archives and Vanessa's social media. Receipts from Miami, hotel bills, jewelry stores, all paid with the corporate card. The board members looked at the photos. They looked at Damon with disgust. "Motion to remove the CEO?" I asked. "Seconded," said the CFO without hesitation. "All in favor?" 4 hands went up. Damon stood alone, defeated, stripped of his title, stripped of his power. "Security," I called out. Mr. Lewis, the guard from the lobby, stepped in. He had clearly been waiting for this. "Please escort Mr. King off the premises, and Mr. Lewis, collect his badge and his keys to the G-Wagon. That's a company car." "Jasmine," Damon pleaded as he was grabbed by the arm, "how am I supposed to get home? You took my car. You took my money." "You have $500, Damon. Take the bus." He dragged him out of the room. We heard his shouts echoing down the hallway until the heavy doors clicked shut. I straightened my blazer. I looked at the stunned board members. "Now," I said, taking the seat at the head of the table, "let's talk about the Q3 projections. I have some ideas." I ran the company for the rest of the day. It was exhilarating. I had forgotten how much I loved business. I had suppressed my own talent for 5 years to make Damon feel big. Never again. When I finally went home at 7 p.m., I was exhausted but happy. I walked into the penthouse lobby. Henry was there, looking nervous. "Miss Jasmine? He's upstairs." "Damon?" "Yes, he followed a delivery guy in. I couldn't stop him. He's been banging on your door for an hour." I sighed. "It's okay, Henry. I'll handle it." I took the elevator up. When the doors opened, Damon was sitting on the floor in the hallway, leaning against my door. He looked broken. No jacket, tie loose. He looked like the man I met 5 years ago, only without the hope. He looked up when he saw me. "Jasmine." "Damon, you're trespassing." "Where am I supposed to go?" he asked softly. "You took the car. The cards are blocked. My parents won't pick up because they think I'm rich and they want money I don't have. I have nowhere." I looked at him. This was the man I had loved, the man I wanted to have children with. Part of me wanted to open the door, to let him in, to feed him. But then I remembered the scissors. Snip, snip. I remembered the way he looked at me when he said I contributed nothing. "You have legs, Damon. Walk." "Jasmine, please, I'm sorry. I messed up. I got arrogant. The money, it changed me. But I can change back. Give me another chance. Not as the CEO, just as your husband." "My husband died yesterday," I said. "He died the moment he cut up my card and told me to beg for money." "I was just trying to budget." "No," I shook my head. "You were trying to control. And you can't control a storm, Damon. You just get wet." I punched the code into the door. 1995, my birth year. The lock clicked. I stepped inside. "Jasmine!" He lunged for the door, trying to jam his foot in. I turned around. I looked him dead in the eye. "By the way, I filed for divorce this morning. My lawyer, Mr. Henderson, will be in touch. Since we signed a prenup, which you didn't read because you were too busy celebrating your seed money, you leave with what you came with." "Which is what?" he whispered. "Debt, student loans, and a broken ego." I slammed the door. I locked the deadbolt. I leaned against the heavy wood and listened. I heard him slide down the door on the other side. I heard him sob. It was a pathetic sound. I walked into the living room. The cut-up credit card was still on the coffee table where I had left it. I picked up the pieces.
I threw them in the trash. Then I picked up my phone. I called Mr. Henderson. Arthur? Yes, Miss Sterling? Send the eviction notice. He has 24 hours to remove his personal effects from the building. Understood. And Jasmine? Yes? Your father would be proud. I smiled. I walked out to the balcony and looked at the city lights. I was Jasmine Sterling, and I was just getting started. Damon King was living in his car. Well, technically, he was living in a rental car, a Nissan Versa that smelled like stale cigarettes, because I had repossessed the G-Wagon the day after the deposition. He had been blocked by every reputable company in Atlanta. His name was poison in the logistics industry. He had no wife, no job, no penthouse. But Damon was a cockroach, and cockroaches always think they can survive the nuclear blast. He had been texting me for 2 days from a new burner number. Jasmine, please, can we just talk? I know I messed up, but we built something together. You can't just throw away 5 years. Meet me for dinner, one last time. If you still want me gone after that, I'll leave Atlanta forever. I didn't reply first, but then sitting in the living room of my penthouse with Maya and little DJ, Damon Jr., I realized we needed closure, real closure. Maya was staying in the guest suite. We had spent the last 24 hours crying, drinking wine, and comparing notes. It turned out Damon told her he was an international spy at first, then changed it to CEO. The lies were pathological. He wants to meet, I told Maya, showing her the text. Maya looked at the screen, her eyes cold. She was holding DJ on her lap. He thinks he can charm his way back in. He thinks you're weak. He thinks I'm lonely, I corrected. He doesn't know I have company. I looked at Maya. Do you want to see him? She hesitated. I want him to see us. I want him to see that his two worlds just collided. Good, I smiled, because I have a plan. I texted Damon back. Meet me at the penthouse, 7 p.m. Don't be late. I have a proposal for you. His reply came in 3 seconds. I'll be there. Thank you, Jasmine. You won't regret this. Oh, I definitely won't. At 6:59 p.m., the doorbell rang. I checked the security camera. Damon was there. He had tried to clean up. He was wearing a crisp white shirt, probably bought at TJ Maxx, and holding a bouquet of cheap gas station flowers. He looked hopeful. Pathetic, but hopeful. I opened the door. Hello, Damon. Jasmine. He stepped inside before I could invite him. He tried to hand me the flowers. For you. I know it's not much, but it's a start.
I didn't take them. Put them on the table. He walked into the living room, looking around. He breathed in the scent of the expensive candles, the luxury he had lost. God, I missed this place. I miss you. He turned to me, putting on his best puppy dog face. Jasmine, look, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I know I was hard on you with the allowance. I was stressed. But we were a power couple. Titan Ventures needs me. You need me. If you reinstate me as CEO, I promise I'll make it up to you. We can start over. Start over? I walked over to the bar and poured a glass of water. With honesty this time. Yes, 100% honesty. No more secrets. I swear on my life. On your life, I raised an eyebrow. Or on your son's life. Damon froze. The color drained from his face so fast he looked like a ghost. My what? Your son, Damon. DJ. The one you have in Houston. The one you swore on your mother's life you would protect? I don't know what you're talking about. That's a lie. Who told you that? Vanessa? She's crazy. Is she? I pressed a button on the remote. The sliding doors to the guest bedroom opened. Maya walked out. She was wearing a red dress, the color of war. She looked stunning, and holding her hand was DJ. Damon looked like he was having a stroke. He staggered back, hitting the sofa. Maya, how... Hi, Damon, Maya said, her voice steady. Surprise. DJ looked at him and smiled. Daddy! The boy tried to run to him, but Maya held him back gently. No, baby, stay here. Damon looked between us, the wife and the fiancé, the bankroll and the secret, his two worlds crashing together in high definition. You know each other? He stammered.
We do now, I said, sipping my water. We've had a lovely chat. Maya told me about the crazy ex-wife who trapped you, and I told Maya about the gold-digging fiancé in Houston. Damon fell to his knees. Literally, his legs gave out. Maya, please, let me explain. It's complicated. Jasmine, she trapped me. Stop, Maya shouted. Just stop lying. You told me you were divorced 4 years ago. You told me you were building a future for us. You used her money to pay for my son's school? I did it for us, Damon cried, looking at Maya. I wanted to give you a good life. With stolen money? I interjected. You embezzled from my company to play Daddy Warbucks in Texas. That's not love, Damon. That's fraud. Damon looked at DJ. The boy looked confused, sensing the tension. Son? Damon reached out. Don't, Maya snapped. You don't get to call him that. A father is present. A father is honest. You are just a visitor. Damon turned to me, desperation clawing at his throat. Jasmine, okay, you win. You found out. But you can't leave me with nothing. I have a child. I have responsibilities. If you ruin me, you ruin him. He pointed at DJ. He was using his own son as a human shield. I looked at the little boy. He was innocent in all of this. He didn't ask for a father like Damon. You're right, I said. DJ deserves support. Damon exhaled, thinking he had found a crack in my armor. Exactly. So maybe a settlement? A small severance package? Just enough to get me back on my feet so I can take care of them? I laughed. Oh, Damon, you misunderstand. I walked over to the desk and picked up a document. I'm not giving you money. I know you. You'd spend it on a new watch or a new scheme before you bought that boy a pair of shoes. I handed the document to Maya. What is this? Maya asked. It's a trust fund for DJ. Damon's jaw dropped. What? I set it up this morning with Mr. Henderson. I deposited $500,000 into an irrevocable trust for Damon Jr. It covers his education, his medical bills, and his future. But there is a catch. I looked at Damon. The trustee is Maya. You have zero access. You can't touch a dime. You can't borrow against it. You can't even see the statements. Damon looked at the paper in Maya's hand. He looked at the money he could have had, locked away forever. You gave her $500,000 and you gave me nothing? I gave you exactly what you earned. Nothing. Maya looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Jasmine, you didn't have to do this. He's not your child. He's an innocent child, I said softly. And us women, we have to stick together. We clean up the messes men make. I turned to Damon. Now get out. Get out? He blinked. But where will I go? I don't know, I shrugged. Maybe you can try Houston. But I hear the rent is expensive there too. Maya? Damon looked at her, pleading. Baby, please, let me come with you. We can make it work. I'll be better. Maya looked at the man she had loved for 4 years. She looked at the father of her child. Then she looked at the check in her hand, the security I had just given her. She looked at me, the woman who saved her from a lie. No, Damon, Maya said strongly. We don't need you. We never did. We needed the lie you told us. But now I know the truth. She took DJ's hand. Say bye-bye to Damon. Bye-bye. DJ waved happily. Get out, Damon, before I call the police too. Damon looked at us. 2 strong, beautiful, wealthy women standing in a penthouse he used to rule. He realized he had lost everything. Not just the money, but the love, the respect, the legacy. He stood up, slumped his shoulders, and walked out the door. He didn't look back. He didn't have the energy.
6 months later, I was sitting in my office at Sterling Logistics. The company was thriving. Profits were up 200% since I took over as CEO. We had just landed a massive contract with Amazon. My phone rang. It was Maya. We talked every week. Hey girl, Maya sounded happy. Guess what? DJ just started his new school. He loves it. That's amazing, Maya. How's the bakery? Booming. That investment you made? I mean, the loan? I'm already turning a profit. I'll be able to start paying you back next month. No rush, I smiled. Consider it an investment in the future. And have you heard from him? Maya asked, her voice lowering. Damon? I swiveled my chair to look out the window at the Atlanta skyline. Last I heard, he was working as a shift manager at a warehouse in Alabama. He tried to sue me for alimony, but the judge laughed him out of court when we showed the embezzlement records. Good, Maya said. He called me once, asking for money. I blocked him. Smart woman. Thank you, Jasmine, Maya said earnestly, for everything. You saved us. We saved each other, I said. I hung up the phone. I checked the time, 5 p.m. I had a date tonight. Not with a man. I was taking a break from men for a while. I had a date with myself. A massage, a steak dinner, paid for with my black card, and a quiet evening in my penthouse. I packed my bag, my new Birkin, and walked out of the office. As I passed the lobby, I saw the new motto I had painted on the wall under the company logo. Sterling Logistics, driven by integrity. I smiled. Damon had cut my card because he thought I was a liability. He didn't realize I was the bank. And the bank always wins.